Big shout out to you and you. Another Monday, another day where we're on our way to hustle hard. And hustle hard, I want you to understand something. Everything that is great today started small. Everything. So every single thing that you're gonna want to begin has to begin in the form of a seed. You who's living today began as a sperm. The tree that you see that is big began as a seed. The company that you see once began with one person. Whatever it is that's existing on this planet, once upon a time began small. So it's important that you understand hustle hard is there to empower you mentally, to tell you that, listen, every single thing begins as a hustle and you grow it until it becomes ultimately what you want it to be, which is at mostly multinational or whatever, how big you ever want it to be. Nothing remains just as a hustle. That's not our thing. Our thing is to initiate the beginning. Once you begin starting, I can tell you, you're going to look back and thank yourself for the day you actually started. I look back in 2012 when I began my hustle with Pro Air. Now that's a well-established organization providing heating and cooling air conditioning solutions. It began as a hustle. I was a one-man band back in the day. But now look, it's making sure that everybody in the country of Zimbabwe is driving cool, working cool, staying cool, heating and cooling, summer and winter air conditioning solutions. And we certainly are making the weather behave. So today, as always, question and answer, we're going to be doing some amazing case studies from some of the questions that have been asked by you on the program or sent via various platforms to Capitalk, and we're going to be there to answer those questions. And I'm going to share my insight from the vast knowledge and experience I've gained over the years, so that we can provoke, inspire, and equip you to make you see that, wait a minute, if George did it, surely you can do it too. All things are possible. All things are possible to he and she who believes. Capitalk, hustle hard. Let's go.
Billionaire is in the building, and we are talking all things navigating the world of business funding, how tricky it can be, especially in this high risk and low cash economy. But it's not impossible. From partnerships and pre-orders to microfinancing and grants, there are practical ways to secure capital. It's all about strategy, building trust, and telling your story well. So before we get into the depths of what we're talking about, George, holla holla.
Holla holla, it's your boy George Billionaire.
With
none other, the one and only Becky K.
Absolutely.
And Noma in the building.
So I'm not the one and only.
Noma, not yet, not
Okay,
yet.
it's fine.
Noma,
Relax,
Noma.
relax.
It's okay.
Noma.
Chila.
And we're here as always. Big shout out to all the pulses. As always, we are here to provoke. Our main mandate on this show is to provoke people's mindsets, to inspire and to equip. Knowledge without power, knowledge without action is dead.
Yep.
So we need to apply all this amazing nuggets of wisdom, different case studies, and all these life transforming things we are learning here on Hustle Hard,
That's true.
so that we can become better people. So big shout out to everybody on, and today I'm so excited, Becky. I had an amazing weekend. This weekend I was in Masvingo
Oh yeah, what was
to watch
happening?
some sport.
Yeah.
Harare Rugby went and dominated.
Please tell me Young Blood
And
was there.
of course,
Yes.
Gaby was there, and the amazing Harare team, coaches, and amazing parents. As much as there was a lot of rugby being played by the different provinces that were there were also parents, having some very competitive cheering on.
All right.
With Mash West, Mash East, obviously being dominated by Harare. But we had a very good time over the weekend, and it's amazing to see the caliber of rugby
Right.
being played at under 13 level, and that was great. So, big shout out to Harare team, and of course, over the weekend, St. George's played versus Peterhouse in the last game
Right.
of the rugby, and of course, the St. George's Dragons went on to become the CBZ champions for the school's rugby. So that was good. That was an eventful weekend, And so much happening. And second term is always the busiest.
Right.
Parents are always up and down, so it's good that the school term is coming to an end.
At what point do you rest as a businessman, like with school? Because I know you are hands-on on the business, hands-on with the kids as well. Do you slow down on the business side and focus on family, or do you still dabble it throughout? You're like, there's no rest.
It's about balancing off. I think one thing about raising children, Becky, is that you're only going to raise them once. So whenever there's sports, whenever you find time to support your kids, make sure it's a must. Because growing up, I think Norma can attest, you were never supported by your parents in one or two. You can never remember really. And we are a different generation now where we need to really be hands-on and support our kids in whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Because you never know what the future holds regarding kids' futures and what gifts they have.
All right, 24 minutes to 1 o'clock, we get into our topic today, and we are talking all things finance in business. I know, George, we've spoken about this before, and you are short of just standing on top of the table to say, no, don't borrow. Why are you borrowing? Borrowing to do what? But, the practical, there are practical ways of borrowing, in terms of business, and also depending on what business it is that you want to start. There are some businesses where you're like, what are you borrowing for? Just start with what you have, sell this, and then get that, or take pre-orders and then start there. But then there are some business ideas that need huge capital, and then that's where you start including bank loans and microfinancing. I'm scared of that one, by the way. Or getting capital from family, from friends. I'll pay back in interest and all of that. So before we get into the different ways of borrowing for business, was there a time in your business where you felt like, let me go and borrow, or let me go and get extra capital, let me go and get extra cash from this person just to sustain the business?
Okay, so I think for me, on the very onset, when I wanted to start in 2012, there were times where initially, when I was starting up, I didn't have a ladder, I didn't have basic tools for air conditioning. And I remember I sought out to get financing from very close people around me.
All right.
And when I look back at it, Becky, that was one of the greatest blessings in disguise.
Right.
So had I gotten finance from people at the beginning, probably they would have said today, you wouldn't be where you are without me. So I'm very fortunate to some of the no's I got from the initial start. I went all over. Because I remember when I left and I started off with $300, registered a company, printed business cards, and went all over trying to source work. And I remember the very first ladder I bought for air conditioning was a foldable ladder.
Okay.
It would briefcase size, and then it would expand to 2 meters. It would get into itself.
Right.
And I wanted a proper, triangular ladder.
Right.
And unfortunately, at that time, I went to very closest people, and I got so many no's. So many.
How did that make you feel? Can you imagine going to someone that you know?
It was very disheartening, and some from very closest people. But when I look back now, it was, like I said, a huge blessing in disguise, because it showed sheer determination of what I wanted to achieve. I remember our first job, profit was about $50, $60, raised that up until I bought the ladder for myself. And then from there, things started flowing, and, jobs then became, a frequent thing. So for me, I tell people that it's easy to get loans, but it's different when you actually set up the basic foundational things for yourself. I love in the Bible, there's that story of the prodigal son, just to give people some insight about people getting pre-financed without wisdom of what to do with the money. Most of the time, people get capital to start off a business. You actually don't know how that money came about, and you can go on spending, using it recklessly, because you never actually worked hard to get that amount of money.
Right.
And only until it is depleted, and now you need to pay it back, and now there's no income because you went and bought things that you unnecessarily don't need, then reality sinks in. And then now you probably need to liquidate certain things that are of high value to repay that loan. So for me in life, because of the guidance and the mentorship and the amount of wisdom I've been around with people who started, who've told me that, like we spoke on the show before, getting capital is mainly for expansion on something that you've already started, something that you've got financials on, something that you can tell monthly you're making X amount of money, and now you want to grow this business to cater for a different market so you can expand. But initially, to start a business, and statistics will tell you that if you get funding to start a business, statistically you are not going to be able to repay that, simply because of lack of financial intelligence, and you have not actually been in the market to do this thing before, so you cannot foretell whether sales are going to come or not. So this is a very simple thing, which is why, it's important that people understand this. And I think if there were people who have gone, and I'm sure there are many listening, who've gotten Chimbadzo, which is those loans with high interest rates, to start a business, they can tell you that was the worst mistake they ever made, because they anticipated sales based on what they thought. But when they actually got the stock and tried to sell it, they were not able to get the sales they anticipated. Because remember, it's something that's new. They haven't done it before. So that's my advice, that on the initial start, a little on a little soon becomes much. But if you want to do it, get quick rich microwave solution, 0 to 100 in 2.3 seconds, you are going to get into a major crash. And I don't know if you'll be able to get up from it, because I know people won't be able to bail you out of that one, because you would have done it because you want to impress, you want to get rich quick. But unfortunately, that's not how business or life is. Great things take time. So let's build a brick by brick until we reach where we want to go.
Okay, I like that description. If we're going to be considering things like mindset, Zevanu, basically just in general, looking at businesses, no one is going to want to start a business for it to fail. And maybe there are some, actually, let me put it this way. There are people who want to start a business just so they can get like an extra $50, an extra $100. Then there are some who are saying, I want to make a name for myself. Yes, I've got my job, I've got my 9 to 5, but I want a fully functioning business running elsewhere, outside of me. I don't even have to be there 24/7. I've got employees and everything running. And then there are some who are saying, I want like an organization and organization. So you've got different levels of people. Those who just want to add an extra $50, $100. Then there are some who want to add an extra 1,000. Then there are some who want to add extra 10,000, and others want to add an extra 100,000 to whatever it is. Surely the people who are at the lower end of the money that they want to add, there's no need for them to borrow.
There isn't. Becky, I like giving practical examples that people relate with. So in the Bible, I like giving these Bible stories because all of us know there's the parable of the talents. You know that guy who was given 1, the other given 5, and the other 10. And this just shows generally the type of people who are out there. That guy with 1 kept his 1 and was okay, he's content with that 1. Right? Then there's a guy with 5 who doubled. There's a guy with 10 who also did quite much with it. So this life that we live is wholly dependent on the lifestyle people want. There's one who with their salary, their job, right? Who's that guy with the 1 talent who says, hey, this is all I can do. So you listen, I took care of this and that's that. But when God looks at us, he looks at us in a different manner, because we are able to do more than exceeding what we can ever think or imagine. But we will never know until we actually try, which is why things were given differently to people. And at least had he doubled it, it would have made sense. But that just gets to show, especially with the people out there, regarding the lifestyle and the mindset that they have. They are always going to remain at low level. So it's important we realize this very simple fact that, there are things that are out there. And I think I've said it before. There are things called relationship building. If you want to start a business sometime, go and sell the things on behalf of somebody, pay back, grow until you're able to create your own.
Okay.
Right? That's relationship building, where you can actually get things on credit, pay it off, and actually run your own.
I like it. Pay it off.
Pay it off. But some, of course, it's very difficult, especially with people of our color.
Yeah.
If you give them something, trying to follow that up,
My
it's
God.
now a headache.
Like you're asking
to-
for a part of your body part.
And automatically,
Yeah.
you kill that relationship.
Yeah.
And that's why you'll never grow, because every relationship you're going to be that person. So in life, people need to understand we all have had some form of money, but our lack of financial intelligence in managing it
Got it.
has caused us not to be able to grow it more than we should.
All right. 0719 100 404 is the WhatsApp number. You can start sending through your questions. I can already see them on the WhatsApp. You are in support of what George is saying. Some of you have got questions. Some are giving you fist bump. George and Sando Zako 100% Papa Muskunyepa. Noma.
So I have a question, yeah? Probably not on the script, yeah?
Yeah.
There's people now who are doing this whole thing. If I get you, there's an emceeing job, yeah? Then George says, no, there's an emceeing job there. I don't know whatever you're going to charge, but I want my cut. Right? It's like a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
Would you call that like a lucrative business where Munano told you, this is what I wake up for to do?
Okay. So, that's what you call a middleman, right? So for me, I don't see any problem in somebody doing that for you and you acknowledging it. So it's called acknowledgement, because if you hadn't met that person, you probably wouldn't have gotten that gig. But remember, when people don't know the gifting and the talent that you have, or the product and service that you have, until you actually deliver or you become an MC. And when you do that, can you imagine the audience that's there who now know Noma, who didn't know because this person opened the door for you? I see absolutely nothing wrong in middleman business, because it's there. It's because, remember, that person has created a network of relations, and it's not a bribe or a cut. It's just somebody saying, listen, I've got a gig for you. You're charging $1,000. I would want 10%.
Okay.
That's because you would have never gotten that job. So there are people who make money in that. There are people who get investors in the country for a specific percent. It's a very viable business, because that's somebody who is rich in relationships and who knows that, listen, George, there's some aircons needed, X amount, make sure you factor me in. That's very much allowed, because you would have never gotten that business were it not that person opened the door for you. So that is a very much viable business. And I think for you, once you do what you do good, there are people who never knew you were going to see your gift, your talent, your product, your service, and it's going to blow you up. So I don't see anything wrong with that, because it's a win-win situation, as long as it's not over the standard.
Where I say I'm getting
Because
1,000
now-
and now I want 500.
No.
Okay.
They shouldn't dictate. It should be something within good reason.
Okay.
Because a loaf of bread is $1. You can't have a loaf of bread $3. That automatically puts it has to be within good reason.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like it. I was going to say, please, the fear of the Lord has to be on top of that. Right, going through our WhatsApp messages, Mr. I don't know if it's Mr. or Miss or it's just Whitehead. Whitehead says, "Hi Becky, I stand with George. It's bad to borrow to start a business. Start small, using your own resources and build up. Most businesses I have seen that were started by borrowing are no longer functional, and the owners were left in debts. Starting a small hustle does not need borrowing."
So when we say start small, yeah? Let's say I want to sell cars, right? So when you say start small, do I have to start by selling a bicycle? Or when you say start small, I can literally start an entirely different business to raise capital for me to eventually
Look for someone
get to
who's
the
selling a
business
car,
I want.
I guess, right?
Yeah. It starts small. It's understand this. You want to sell cars. You
Yes.
can start selling on behalf of somebody.
Okay.
Use that money, because you don't have to necessarily get a car. There are many people in Harare today who sell things that they actually do not own because they know. But ultimately, they will grow and then actually have enough funding to either bring their own cars or bring their own products. But you started where you are. You understand? So many people want to say, I want to bring in my own car first. But then there's a lot you're not going to learn by doing that. Then rather selling and understanding, you make a small cut on this and you grow.
Okay.
That's the most important thing.
All right. I'm Norma from, I don't know, random place. You don't know me. You've never heard of me. I want to sell air conditioner. How do I then come to you and say, because this is expensive stuff, right? How do I then come to you and say, I'm Koma George, I'm Norma. You have never seen me sell anything and whatnot, but this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
How do I have that conversation with you for you to eventually believe in my vision?
Okay.
Is there like a way of wording my statements to you when I first approach you and whatnot?
So I remember this takes me back to the University of Zimexmo, where I graduated with the faculty of hustle.
Best university.
And this was one of the most prime times where I used to sell phones. So you'll find back then there were so many people with phones, and for you to gain trust, you would go and you have the device that I want. But I'd say, listen, I've got a deal I want to do. I'm going to leave my phone here. Please, can you give me this phone? I want to go and sell it. As soon as I get paid, I'll bring back. The first time you do that, you create that rapport between the two of you to be able to be faithful with what you're given and actually pay it. You just can't go to somebody who doesn't know. Otherwise, people will be broke because if you just give like that without some form of collateral or security, I cannot trust you. So it's important to show, and it's a relationship, remember, is built over time.
Yes.
You just cannot go, hi, I'm Norma. George, give me 10 aircons. I have a client. I'll pay you soon as we're done. And then it's not going to happen. But what's important is to build that relationship. Listen, George, I've got a project. This is my car. It's worth double what I've taken. But in a week, I'll be able to settle this. By you doing that, you're showing you're good for what you're saying. And then the next time, you won't even need to bring your car in because we've built a relationship now. And then we take it from there.
So I'm speaking on behalf of young people that don't even have a car or anything. So in essence, what you're saying is, maybe I can come to your office and find out how much your air conditioners are, right? Then if I know, I can then go and look for my client. Then come back and say, so I have this client, they're charging this much, and whatnot. That's the first step to it.
Initially,
I don't have
remember what we said, you can even start by selling on behalf. You can actually say, listen, can I have your bank details? They want to pay straight to you.
Okay.
And then at the end, you can get your commission or whatever it is. And then from there, we can say, hey, you were good. Last time this happened. You're not with us, but you're one of our sales reps who actually works on behalf
And then
of
you
us.
get a contract.
And
Make
then
sure
you get-
it's on it.
Nice. That makes
And
sense.
then that's how you
Zimbabwe
then build
That
from
makes sense.
from starting small. And
Thank
sooner than later, you're one
like
of the
that.
biggest commodity brokers. You're not tied down to one company. You can be doing that sales commission structure with
anything.
many different organizations because you're network rich. And then that's it.
The way Norma is
Thank
looking
you.
at you, Georgia,
Thank
Gaya, she's not right. Business plan. I agree with George, the billionaire. Kuti, if you meet someone saying, I have an idea, but I want capital, but not in that particular business, please don't risk giving that person that capital. He will be the prodigal son for sure. This is Elder Samanyanga in Banket. Anzi, kokana ndichikweta ku bank.
Yeah. So one thing I love about our banks here in Zimbabwe, they actually do what's called order financing. So basically, if you go to any of your banks to say, listen, I've got an air conditioning project and it's worth $50,000, all they will do is they'll see your quotation, right? They'll procure goods for you. The money will be paid into their account and they will manage that and actually, make sure that your contract happens. So order financing is different from borrowing because it's order financing. It's different when it's a loan, which they can't manage what you're going to do. Because Norma, if you got $50,000 in your account right now, just by the look in your eye, I can tell that immediately, soon after your shift
Why is
today,
it there? Why
she
is it
is
there?
going to get a ticket, an empty bag, and she's traveling
Yes.
to go without that financial intelligence. So it's important people understand that lack of financial intelligence and managing money is one of the greatest causes that has caused people to remain poor because once money comes,
Why is it there?
remember, Becky, money amplifies true character.
Yeah,
When money
yeah.
arrives,
The true
this
you.
Noma,
comes
this
out.
Noma we see
She's
today.
very humble, this one.
I'm
Yeah.
telling me, I'm not going to be humble when I make money. I'm just putting it out there
Auntie,
because I know I
let
have
me tell you right
potential.
now, I'm not going to be humble.
I'm not going to be humble. I'm not.
I like it.
Because on a random Thursday, when I have $100 that I didn't expect, I just feel somehow.
Even the step changes.
You know?
What are you talking? What?
Yeah.
Imagine if I have like $100,000 in my yo.
Anzi beginning ndakutotya kutanga business ranga ndichida kutanga ndakaenda for a course yekuita on how to grow my mushrooms but mari yekutangisa handina and I was thinking of borrowing. Now I'm confused.
Do you know, I've always said this on the issue of borrowing. If you believe in something so much, just like I did with buying my first lager, everybody has something they can liquidate for cash to start their business.
So look for something
when
in your house, in
and
your
when I mean
possession.
everyone, Becky,
Yeah.
you might be driving a car. You can downgrade that car and get it $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 off the sale of a car, and you get a lower one and have some excess cash.
Right.
You might have 2 phones. You might have something you can liquidate to actually see how serious you are. So you begin, and when you begin in a year, that money that you would have invested or sold off, you'll make back if you're serious. People are not very serious when it comes to business because they don't know the fruit of business. They actually don't know. And if people knew how much they can actually make, not immediately. Remember, business is like a seed planted in the ground. You don't expect to eat fruit tomorrow. It is a
Come
long-term
on
game.
now. Yep.
But people want a microwave. I put it in the microwave. Ting, 2 minutes, I'm rich, I have money. That's not how business works.
Come on.
The real business is long game. It takes time. So if you're wanting to get money quick, understand you're going to delay self-gratification. It's going to be a slow, long process, but it's going to be far better than you not having started, than you having started when you look back 5 years down the line.
All right. With the time that we have, we've got 3 minutes left. I'm just going to mention 4 things, and then I just want like 30-40 seconds on each.
Sure.
Just explaining. If I'm looking at partnerships, is this a good thing? This is where I collaborate with other businesses or organizations to share resources, expertise, or risk.
Okay, partnership for me, I think we've done a show on it before. I'm not really high on partnership,
Okay.
especially if that's your sole business. But if it's something that you want to do, you and me, Becky, we have our own enterprises and we want to partner in something that's uniquely different, that's great, we can do that. But in order for initial first business, I'm not one for partnering with people because people are unequally yoked and we have different belief systems.
Got it.
And that won't make sense to me.
All right. Pre-orders, generating revenue through pre-orders or crowdfunding campaigns to validate demand and secure funding.
Pre-ordering is good. I think I've highlighted it. Pre-order financing from banks. That's a great thing because that secures you. You are not using any of your money, but your
Right.
bank, because they know your history, they
Oh,
can
the
be able
bank
to
must
say,
know your history.
Yes, the bank knows you
Can't be a
definitely.
newbie and be like,
It just can't
"Hey,
be
man."
today. I need so pre-ordering is good, and
Yeah.
we've got a very good banking system in the country which definitely supports young startups. As long as you've
Yeah.
been banking with them, they'll definitely support you.
All right. Microfinancing.
Yeah, microfinancing to me simply is a mini version of Chimbazo. It only makes sense if you've got very huge profits. But in the current economy we're living in now, where there's a lot of businesses doing similar things, profit margins have really much been shrinked. So I wouldn't advise that. I would rather advise you stay true to what you can do,
Yeah.
or rather opt for pre-finance to help you grow. Or liquidate something if you know your profits are going to be substantial in order for you to get that thing back.
All right. Grants. Applying for grants or subsidies from government agencies, foundations, or non-profit organizations.
Yeah, that works in first and second world countries.
Yep.
Here in Africa, not really
Sit
so.
down.
We're not really that type of economy yet because we have a lot of things to cater for. But I would rather you do pre-order finance or liquidate what you have or start small. I tell you a journey of 1,000 miles, one step, and once you get started, like I did in 2012, you look back and say that was one of the best decisions I made because I started small, and 13 years on, you'll be shocked at what you'll be able to see that you would have amassed and achieved. So it's not the 100-meter race, it's the long game. success is not a sprint, it is a very long run, and you need to be steady as you do what you do.
That was very insightful. George, billionaire, coming through for Hustle Hard. It's exactly 1 o'clock on Capi Talk. Stand by for the news.